Hello everyone, it's Destiny, and today we'll be discussing the 5-star selector that will be available in version 4.0. I'll be going over which characters are the best options to pick up, and I'd love to know which character you will likely pick from the selector. If you would like to see more Star Rail content from me, consider subscribing to the channel, leave a like to support today's video, and now let's get straight into it. To begin, let's go over each option from the 5-star selector. You'll be able to acquire one of these 7 characters for free, being Jing Yuan, Kafka, Heng Imbibitor Lunae, Jingliu, Sparxie, Acheron, or Aventurine. This consists of 4 1.0 characters and 3 2.0 characters, 2 of which also being anniversary characters being Acheron and Aventurine. Some of these characters have also received Nova Flare buffs over time, this being Kafka and Jingliu. Now right off the bat I have to say, if one of these characters is your favorite or you've been waiting for a rerun for one of these characters for quite a while now, then picking up your favorite character makes them a priority for you. When it comes to each option's value, I would say that the 1.0 characters, aside from Kafka, would have the lowest value, being Jing Yuan, Heng, and Jingliu. Jing Yuan and Heng were early 1.x DPS characters. And while there has been numerous supports that have released that can work nicely with them, they unfortunately aren't very powerful DPS options at the moment when it comes to endgame performance. Hopefully Jing Yuan and Heng will get Nova Flare in the future though. I do think those buffs can definitely help out, as this can definitely assist with their strength, but for right now I would say that these two have the lowest value and lowest pickup priority. As for Jingliu, her Nova Flare buffs nicely assisted with her strength. In regard to her ideal teammates, this can consist of characters such as Tribi, Hyacinth, and so on. This case can be said for numerous DPS in Star Rail though, and it would come down to which team you would want your Hyacinth on the most, for example. An example of this can be Castress heavily appreciating Hyacinth alongside her. So let's say you already have Castress and you are playing one of her premium teams, or of course you just want to play one of her stronger teams in general, you would more than likely put Hyacinth on that team anyway. So you could end up making a Jingliu team with alternative characters still, of course, but if you were looking for 2 very meta-like teams, an example of this could be a Castress team, and then you also have maybe a Finan team, or maybe you have an Anaxa team, whatever it may be. Overall though, when it comes to these 3 options, I would not recommend them as much as some of the other options from the selector. When it comes to Kafka, her Nova Flare buffs nicely boosted the strength of damage over time teams. More frequent detonations, and with high ceilings, this assisted with making damage over time teams even stronger as well, allowing damage over time to become more viable than before. On top of this, Black Swan will also be getting Nova Flare buffs in version 4.0, and both High Ceilings and Black Swan will be rerunning in 4.0. For those who already have characters for a premium damage over time team, for example, let's say you already have High Ceilings, or you plan to pull on these rerun banners, then Kafka can be an excellent choice from the selector specifically for damage over time teams, as she is a vital character for the team's performance. Kafka is able to frequently detonate damage over time with her kit, she can use her ultimate frequently, overall just dealing frequent damage onto enemies, and so on. So I would say that Kafka definitely has high value here, specifically for damage over time teams. Now for the 2.x characters, we have Aventurine, Acheron, and Sparxie. If you wish to obtain another sustain, then Aventurine can be an option to consider, as he is able to provide shields for teams, but I will say we did get Heng for free, and it is very likely we are going to get an Elation sustain eventually. And if you're going to pull Elation characters, or are considering them overall for making a team, then that'll be a character to look out for whenever they release, especially with how Hyacinth ended up turning out, and also how Heng turned out as well, being a great free sustain. 2 budget-friendly sustains would be Heng and Gallagher. Aventurine can be a 3rd shielder for your teams for Anomaly Arbitration, but as mentioned, with either Hyacinth or once Elation gets their own sustain, this would end up being a stronger option. Now when it comes to Acheron, she has gotten new teammates she could be used alongside over time. For example, Cypher, who can record the damage being dealt to enemies, frequently being able to attack enemies and assisting with generating Acheron/Dream, inflicting debuffs onto enemies, and so on. There's also Silverwolf. Her Nova Flare buffs allowed Silverwolf to become a stronger team member overall for Acheron teams, with her debuffing capabilities. And when it comes to DPS performance, Acheron would be in a better spot currently than Dawn Hung and Jing Yuan, and she can benefit from future Nihility characters who can assist with her damage potential, ultimate frequency, and so on. Of course though, the 3.x DPS are performing the best currently as expected, but I did want to mention Acheron in comparison to some of the other DPS options available for the Selector. I occasionally post Acheron clears with newer Nihility characters or just characters that could potentially be used with her, and while it may not be a zero cycle, I would still say it's decent clears overall. Now for Sparkle. She is one of the best options to consider picking up from the 5-star Selector, especially with how Sparkle will be receiving Nova Flare buffs in 4.0. This nicely increases her potential when it comes to her buffing capabilities and buff durations. The amount of skill points she can provide, as well as storing overflow skill points, and much more. Sparkle has gotten more usage after Archer's release, and her buffs will make her much stronger in what she'll be able to provide. Additionally, Sparkle can be an excellent option to pair alongside Sparxie if you're going to pull Sparxie. Sparxie enjoys consuming a bunch of skill points for her playstyle, and Sparkle will be able to nicely help out with that with how much skill points she can restore, plus of course all of the other buffs Sparkle will provide as well. And I'll have a video coming out soon showcasing this. Sparkle is still one of the best partners for Archer, and you can actually make a pretty powerful free-to-play team if you pick up the free Sparkle from the Selector. This team would consist of Archer, Dawn Hung PT, who is also free, and Remembrance Trailblazer. From all of the options you can pick from the Selector, I would recommend Sparkle and Kafka the most. Kafka specifically for damage over time teams only, as she is one of the most important characters for the playstyle, and then Sparkle as an overall strong supportive option. Now, let's say you have majority of these characters. When it comes to Eidolons, I would recommend Kafka's E1 if you already have her E0. This results in enemies taking 30% more damage over time, which is a vulnerability debuff, and this will nicely improve the team's damage output. As for Sparkle, her E1 is also a valuable option if you have E0 Sparkle. Additional considerations can be E1 Aventurine or E2 Acheron, as E1 Aventurine can be useful for additional survivability, while E2 Acheron can still take full advantage of her trace, the Abyss, with only one Nihility character on the team, and when her turn starts, she'll gain 1 point of Slash Dream and inflicts 1 stack of Crimson Knot on the enemy with the most Crimson Knot stacks. This can assist with faster ultimate usage overall, and there are numerous team options where Acheron can be paired alongside another Harmony as well as another Nihility. Overall though, I would say the top 2 options are Sparkle or Kafka. Once again, Kafka for damage over time, Sparkle as a general supportive option, or if you're looking to add Sparkle for your Archer team, you're looking to add Sparkle to a Sparxie team. And when it comes to what I will personally be doing, I personally will be picking up an Eidolon for one of them on my account. I'd love to know which character you're the most excited for in version 4.0, and also who will you be picking from the Selector, or if you're gonna wait it out a bit more just to see how you are feeling once we get the Selector, or even a bit past that. If you enjoyed today's video, consider checking out my yaoguang and Sparxie videos on the channel. Lastly, if you would like to see more Star Rail content from me, consider subscribing to the channel, leave a like to support today's video, and I hope to see you all next time. Peace.